Okay, so following up on the last video, we're going to extend this chat module so that it communicates with a server, or at least we can simulate communication with a server. That's another one of the really nice things about the River framework. It allows you to build things in small blocks and kind of expand out. Much more of an agile kind of way to do development, or goes right along with agile. What I've done here is I've modified the chat module slightly. We have the same, pretty much the same stuff here. Actually, I think it's the exact same stuff here. What I have added though is this helpers object here. And this helpers object I am passing to chat view. So one of the differences is I'm storing the chat view inside of the module. And then when we're ready to use the chat, we initialize the chat view and we pass helpers to it. So what I'm doing is communication to other modules. I prefer that communication to other modules go through the module file itself. Some people actually prefer to pass the module to these views or whatever they're using inside of the module and allow them to call this do action directly. I prefer to put all the do action and that on and whatever in the module file itself. So that being said, so this time I'm initializing chat view and I'm passing in this helpers object. And the helpers object has one method, which is send message, and you pass it the message. And that then calls this do action with send message. So one of the features of River is that with actions is that we kind of put an action out there and we don't really care who does it. So could be one module doing it, could be more than one module doing it. We could have modules listening for certain actions where they just log it, whatever. It doesn't really matter and we don't really care. That's part of the decoupling is we don't care who handles it or how many people handle it. Sometimes I have actions where I throw an action out there. There might be 3 modules that handle it depending on the situation. And again, I don't personally care in my module. I just say, hey, I need this done, go do it. So this isn't a unique feature. There's lots of systems that do this. So if we look at the, so we'll go in and look at the chat view very quickly. And all I've really changed here is, well, there's a couple of changes, but so this time send, instead of just updating the chat window directly, it calls this send message with the message and then clears out the message field. So that's the things that the chat view does now. So it doesn't update the chat window until something comes back from the server. And I have this message received method in here for that, and we'll see where it's called on the other side. That then updates the chat window with the message. So that way when it comes back from the server, that's the one that actually goes into the chat window. So if we look at chat, here's actually where that message received gets called. We've added a new event, which is server request message received. So when we've received a message from the server, then we call the chat view message received with the message. So that way the server request doesn't know who needs this event. It just fires the event. We're listening to it, and then we know what to do with it after that. So if we go into now we've added this new server request module. And if we go into the server request module, we'll see that it's fairly simple right now. I have that do send message. So send message is the action that was called from the other side, and then it takes in data. And what I'm doing here is to simulate a server, I'm adding a username to the message and then firing the message received based on that new message. So it looks like it went to the server and came back. And again, this is really nice because what you could do is you can actually test a client side without a server. You can run tests against it and things like that and write unit tests or whatever you want, or integration tests and function tests in this case, where you can actually slide in a new module. So you can create a module that does communicate with the server, and then you can create a module that doesn't communicate with the server, just pretends to, and then you can slide that module in and run all your function tests against it that's completely separate from the server, or you write an entire system without a server and then write the server side. So these are all possible. So these can be extended later to then communicate with a server. So for the purpose of the demo, since I don't want to set up a whole server side, we're just going to do this and echo it back. So that's really about it. The only other change I've really made is in boot, I've added my new module server request so that module gets loaded. And we'll go ahead and look at the result of that. So this is it again. This is the chat window we had in the earlier video, except for this time, when I type in my message, I get back the username with the message as if it was coming back from the server. So in the next video, what we're going to do is talk about events and event chaining a little bit more, and we're going to actually take and put this into a larger kind of page context. So see you then.